Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's me, Deno, and we are on the Chit-Chat bench. Always on the Chit-Chat bench, we always have guests, and guests always they are always to tell us what they do and how they help the society. A beautiful lady here is going to introduce herself and tell us more about what she's doing. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine.
You look good.
Yeah. I'm good.
Thank you. So, very first, tell us your name and what you do.
My name is Roselyne Belinda. I'm the founder and director of Slum Women Foundation. It's a startup organization that is working with young women and adolescent girls who are going through all forms of sexual gender-based violence. And specifically, we are focusing on domestic violence.
So it seems you are working in the community.
Yeah.
So, talking of the gender-based violence, tell us what inspired you to start doing the gender-based violence, the work thing.
It's a personal experience for me. I was once married and I experienced gender-based violence in my ex-marriage. It was domestic violence. So though it was not physical, but I realized later that domestic violence can also be psychological, emotional, financial,
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I went back to my home, when we separated with my ex-husband, I realized women were going not only through physical domestic violence but also emotional.
So you went this work to do this work out of your personal or lifetime experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So since you started working with dealing with the gender-based violence, have you ever gotten someone who is going through whatever you went through?
Yes, I've met like over 3,000 women who are going through domestic violence almost every day. Yeah, and unfortunately, you'd find out of every 5 women, 1 will die out of the domestic violence issues.
So sad. So, you've talked of women. Do men also go through the violence?
Absolutely, men also go through violence, but the society tends not to talk about men mostly because it's women who's like the violence that affects them is more dominant than that of the men.
So, since you've talked of the society don't want to talk about men being violated, you personally, you're doing the gender-based violence. How do you strive to remove this norm that men should not? We should not say that men don't get violated.
I am a feminist, yeah, but I'm also a happy feminist. I work with both women and men and children. So our main focus is family because domestic violence begins at home. That's
True.
our main belief. So it doesn't mean that as you're working with the women, we are also not focusing on the men. So in our programs, we have life skill education where we engage both the young women, the adolescent girls, and also the men as well.
Yeah.
So in this part of life skills, it's kind of a platform where women can voice their challenges that they are going through as well as men. And then the children, we also have girls and boys. We interact with them through games and learning that is fun, so that we get to talk about what is happening, and then they're able to make informed decisions about their lives in future.
Talking of children, you involving children in this. There are families where you find a child being violated, let's say by a father, then let's say a stepfather, then the father being financially stable and got the family when they were down. The child reports to the mom, and the mom doesn't trust the kid. How do you deal with this?
Yeah, we have such cases where women are living in denial. There is defilement going on in families, but somehow the women are being threatened because they are a weak agenda. Or maybe they don't want to expose this to the society because it will be shameful, and to them it will be like lack of respect to their spouses or husbands. So we work with other like-minded organizations that can offer, that are skilled and with skilled facilities that would help them further to go about this issue. And then also we have the community policing, where we have the village elder, the chief, the police. So we also work hand in hand with them to make sure that these cases are worked on and the victims are taken care of well, psychologically, physically if they're hurt. Yeah, and also the perpetrators are worked on as well.
And have you gotten a case where the perpetrators are arrested?
That one, yeah, we've gotten cases where the perpetrators are arrested, but then again you find they are arrested today, tomorrow you meet them in the community. So that means we are still having gaps that are existing within our communities, where the perpetrator might maybe bribe the chief, bribe the police, or the stakeholders involved, and then he is set free to go.
And you know, when the perpetrator is set free, the victim is at risk.
Absolutely.
So how do you deal with this? You know, it goes round and round and round.
It's hard work. Yeah, it's hard work. So our main duty is to let the women know that it's high time they become vigilant, because most of these perpetrators are living with us. They are not from outside. There are people we know, there are people we are close to, we interact with daily. So our main agenda is to create awareness together with the women so that they are alert 24/7 and know when to do this when such a case arises.
Yeah. So when we were having a chat before this, you said you also deal with women empowerment. So can you talk about the women empowerment, you as a person?
Yeah, we are working with women empowerment because this project, the inspiration behind it was also my personal experience. I was not working when I went through the domestic violence, but I had kids to take care of. So another focus we are focusing on is unemployment amongst women. Yeah, and the gender gaps that are existing about women on leadership positions. So we are trying to work out things that will engage these women in their talents, or maybe the businesses that they know how to do, that would sell quickly to enable them get some incomes. And most of them is like creating the soaps, the liquid soaps. Some of them know how to tailor clothes. Some of them know how to make the brigades, which it's commonly known as makwangala. Yeah. So
women empowerment is also diminished by the society. Men are afraid that if you empower a woman, the woman will come, let's say, rude, or you'll start the respect between a wife and husband. People fear that it will not be there. So how do you tell the society about this?
Personally, I take that one as a misconception, because we are all human beings. We all have equal opportunities at all the careers that come our way. So, but the society from ancient time, a woman has been viewed as a vessel that is only used to give birth, take care of the child, be there at home, do house chores, make sure your husband is well fed, and all those other misconceptions that really feeds well the demands of the community, elders and whatever. But a woman is also, when a woman is empowered, then the society will be at a better place, because you realize women, we influence the child. The percentage in which we influence the community is also big, because we interact with the children from childbirth. We are the ones at home, we are the ones in the community majority. So when we are empowered, and then the world will be a better place.
So men should not have the fear of being disrespected.
We can't respect them.
But that is something that men fear, and for you to get it out in a man's mind, it will take a lot, unless the man is enlightened.
Yeah, and I think also that in the society today, men also need to be empowered alongside women, so that they get to know that women empowerment is not a bad thing. Once she is employed and you are employed, then it helps this family to balance, and bring something good.
And you also men empowerment has also bring the boy child down. Most of these societies, most of the organizations, they generally think of girl child, and they forget the boy child. And now you get at times when the boy child is not performing well in school, but the society is not too much on this boy child because mwanaume atajipanga. The boy is going through a lot mentally. Mwanaume hafai kulia. How do you deal with this? I know you deal with the women mostly, but the boy gender is also being affected.
Yeah, we also touch on that because the boys also, they have been sidelined. I want to agree with that.
Yeah.
But then also when we are with the women, we also let the boys know that it is their time also to shine. And that one starts at when these boys are in adolescent age. There's a way they see the girls of the same age when they are starting their periods and whatever. So that is where this discrimination gap begins to set in, that a girl should now not be this, the boys should be this, should be providing and whatever. While in real sense, a girl can also be empowered to also provide, because these men are also going through a lot. Yeah, they are human beings. In fact, they should cry. I always encourage men, cry. If it's too much, cry, let it out. Talk about it. But the men don't want to talk about it because the society will say, oh, he's weak. He's not a man, he's a woman.
Yeah. So
why is he ranting about his problems?
So I'll say some men wish that you people deal with women empowerment, you bridge that gap between men and women, and I hope that is working. I know the women empowerment are doing all that.
Yeah, it's working. So.
Yeah, and also you are dealing with mental health.
Yeah, that is actually a project that has been infused this year. Mental health. We realize it's very important. Sometimes we get victims that you might not even know how to handle. Or maybe their mental illness is so gross that might not require my normal skills. Yeah.
So what inspired you to venture also in the mental health thing?
Stress, and then also that we had previously the pandemic virus. So women were really struggling, taking care of the child. I'm sorry to say that a man can survive at some point, but a woman, it's so hard when you have a baggage of children and you want to care for during that pandemic period. There's no going anywhere. The babies are hungry. There's nothing you can do. Your husband went out in search, came back with nothing because of curfew issues and whatever. So women were stressed as much as also men were stressed, trying to care for their families. But then there's how it's too much on women, So, and sometimes some of them don't even talk about it, but they are stressed, some are depressed, some are now even mentally ill seriously that they are not staying. They have become psychiatric issues. Yeah.
So you as Roselyne, what did the pandemic teach you? What did you learn from that period? New things?
Yeah, I learned new adjustment skills, I would call them, because sometimes life is not about the obvious way that we always live. Sometimes it comes like you're not supposed to move this direction, move towards this direction, don't go there, go this side, or don't move at all. So I really learned how to adjust to whatever situation that came.
That's true. People went through a lot, and actually most people died through that time. So it's good to adjust. And Roselyne, here on Chit-Chat bench you always have the parting shot. And also I can see you have a book with you. You can talk about that too, and you can also talk to the women out there who are going through a lot and they don't want to speak out.
Yeah, I'm doing a book and it's actually published. We are just waiting for the launch. With me here, it's a copy. Not the book though, it's just a printed copy for my fundraising. So we are currently fundraising for the launch. The book is called The Sex of My Marriage. It's talking about the gender-based violence that I went through in my ex-marriage. So this book is out there to speak to the young women like me, and also the women in marriage, to be aware of all forms of gender-based violence that comes with it. It could be financial, emotional, like I said, psychological. So we have a budget of 250,000, and we are currently asking for friends, family, and well-wishers who are willing to support any amount of money that you have. We have a pay bill, which is 891300. That's our pay bill number, and then the account number is 57640. And then the name that will come after you. To the young women outside there, it's possible. You can do anything that is beyond you, and that which is within your capacity. Talking about domestic violence, speaking it out and coming boldly about it. I know it's not easy, but you can do it when you have decided within you that you want to. And don't be ashamed about being a victim of gender-based violence. Talk to it. It may inspire somebody within your community to also talk about theirs. So tell a friend to tell a friend, and let's talk about it and fight domestic violence.
Thank you so much, viewers. That was us on Chit-Chat Bench. And as usual, don't forget to subscribe and share. Till we meet next time. Bye.